Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. And today I am bringing you my thoughts and a little bit of a recap of the AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling joint pay-per-view Forbidden Door. Now, overall, fantastic show. All the matches hit in the right places. And there were some finishes that were a little weird, but we'll get into it. Grab yourself a snack, maybe a little something to drink, and let's do this. So, we have a 4-match pre-show with some very varied matches. So, let's get it started with pre-show match number 1. We got Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi representing New Japan Pro Wrestling as they take on the Factory's Aaron Solo and QT Marshall. This was a very run-of-the-mill Factory match. I like Goto and Hashi, but overall this didn't feel like much anything. The chemistry was kind of there, but it didn't really tickle me right where I needed to be. So, not overall a bad match, just a very uninteresting match. It also did feel a little bit rushed. So, sadly, it's going to be like right here. Next up, a bit of a monster matchup as Lance Archer takes on the Factory's Nick Camarado. And boy, oh boy, did these boys throw some haymakers. Now, they also did have some great chemistry, including a counter to the Blackout, I believe it's called, or the Lights Out, whatever, by Archer to Camarado, which was very impressive. He then hits the move. Archer hits Camarado with the move for the win. Nice, quick, breezy match to get us through the pre-show. I'll give it a thumbs up. It was solid. Nothing really to write home about, but I still had fun with it. Next pre-show match, we have Swerve in Our Glory, which is Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Yes, they are a team, which, honestly, I kind of dig. Taking on Suzuki-gun, being represented by El Desperado, who is a masked superstar for New Japan. And I know I'm going to butcher this name. I do apologize. Yoshihumbo Kanemaru? I do apologize if I offended anybody. I think this match picked up really well where the last one left off. Some really good power by Keith Lee. A really good encounter by El Desperado and Swerve, which was very fun. And of course, the whole will they, won't they break up angle with Swerve in Our Glory. But yeah, both teams worked really, really well. Swerve and Keith Lee for the win. I'm going to give this match a thumbs up. I do hope they do something a little bit more with Keith Lee and Swerve, because they're extremely good, and I hope to see them more on TV, at least. This next match was kind of the only pre-show match announced that I predicted, and that's Max Caster and the entire Gun Club, Austin, Colton, and Billy. So this is Billy Gunn's first match in a little while, as they take on representatives of the New Japan Pro Wrestling LA Dojo. That's right, New Japan has a dojo in the States, as they take on Yuma Yurihira, Alex Coughlin, the DKC, and Kevin Knight. Now, before the match could get started, you had Danhausen on the screen taunting the Gun Club, in which Austin Colton exit stage left. Best way I could announce it. LA Dojo Boys get an upper hand at first, but then Billy Gunn comes in like a house of fire. Famous for all. 1, 2, 3 winners. Max Caster and Billy Gunn. It was an okay match. I feel like the dojo guys got a bit more spotlight than I thought they would. It also kind of went a little fast though, so I'm gonna give it a right over here rating. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad at all. And now our kickoff to the main Forbidden Door show, as we have the Jericho six-man tag team match playa, as we have members of the Jericho Appreciation Society, that's Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, teaming with Minoru Suzuki. I never thought I'd say that a million years in my life. As they take on Eddie Kingston, Shuta Umino, who is worked under John Moxley for a bit, and the ROH Pure Champion, Wheeler Yuta. And I gotta say, they gave Shota Umino a showing. Like, I think he has turned into a much-watched superstar, and I think he's going to be the future of New Japan for a little bit, at least. And of course, the big showdown between Eddie Kingston and Suzuki, that was spine-tingling. Like, those two guys threw haymakers at each other. It was great. At one point, Umino had the walls of Jericho on Jericho to... they did show this Tokyo Dome show where it was... Who the heck was it? I want to say it was Tanahashi and Jericho for the IWGP World title. And Umino was still very young, still in his dojo days, being put in the walls of Jericho, that was a nice touch. I love stuff like this. Little moments like this. Beautiful. But then Suzuki and Guevara broke it up. At one point, it did look like Minoru Suzuki was just going to bail, because he's, a bit off over this goofiness, but he did end up staying. A big kind of pull-up brawl at the end in which everyone hits their finishers. Jericho then hits Shuta with the Judas effect. 1, 2, 3 winners. Jericho Appreciation Society and Minoru Suzuki. This was a very well-paced, awesome opener to this great show. Everyone looked really good here, especially Umino. He's going to be the future, let me tell you. Watch out for this kid. And overall, this is a thumbs up from me. I love it. Then going into this next match, we have the winner takes all match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships and the IWGP Tag Team Championships. As FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood defend their ROH Tag Team titles against United Empire, represented by Great-O-Khan and Jeff Cobb, the IWGP Tag Team Champions, and Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, Roppongi Vice. Now, early on, looked like Dax Harwood gets escorted to the back by the medical team, which really hit everyone because of how just cursed this show was. Like, everyone got hurt by the show. Punk, Danielson, I think Takahashi got a fever the day before. So, a lot of, replacements and we'll talk about stuff like that. Eventually he did come back to a big old pop, which was awesome to hear. And then FDR hit the big, Jeff Cobb hit a gnarly tour of the islands on Rocky Romero, in which it looked like he was going to win. FDR with the save, get him out of the ring. Big rig for the 1, 2, 3 winners. Still ROH Tag Team Champions and new IWGP Tag Team Champions, FTR. I'm going to give this double thumbs up, and I am going to give it a must watch. If you are a fan of tag team wrestling, this is for you. And as a big fan of tag team wrestling myself, this was just about perfect. Now, next up, our first Fatal 4-Way of the evening. Yes, there's going to be another one. Wait for it. As we are crowning our first AEW All-Atlantic Champion. Yes, AEW has a new championship. It's getting a little... Well, with the roster they have, I guess it makes sense. But hopefully they don't overdo it. As we have Pac, Miro, Malachi Black, and as I said, there have been some injury replacements. It was supposed to be Tomohiro Ishii. Now it's former LA Dojo trainee Clark Connors, who, honestly, he put on a heck of a showing here too. Especially powering out of a game over by Miro. One point, Malachi Black missed who the heck did he hit one of the missed? I think he hit Connors. Poor Clark Connors. He got a little beat up. But he had a hell of a showing. And then by the end, Pac had the Brutalizer in on... I want to say it was Malachi Black. It could have been Miro. For the tap-out victory. So, winner and new All-Atlantic Champion, the Bastard Pac. Now, I'm going to give this a thumbs up. This was a really good match, a whole lot of fun. Everyone worked really, really well together. I think AEW has won too many titles, though. Like, if they're going to be introducing a trios title, I think that's got to be it. Next up, a 6-man tag team match playa. Was supposed to be an 8-man, but one of the participants got sick, so it got turned into a 6-man. As we have Darby Allin, Sting, New Japan, former New Japan Pro Wrestling World Champion, Shingo Takagi, one of the most underrated wrestlers today, as they take on a kind of reunited Bullet Club, as it's El Phantasmo and the Young Bucks. Now, the Bucks, when they came up in popularity, they were a part of the Ring of Honor New Japan collaboration, and they held their fair share of titles there. ROH tag titles, obviously. I think they held the trios title there once, too. IWGP Junior tag team titles with Bullet Club. I think they moved up to the heavyweight titles a little bit after that, before they founded AEW. So, a little reuniting as the Bullet Club are making their entrance. Actually, first, Allin and Takagi come out. Sting was supposed to come out. He doesn't. Bullet Club comes out. Lights go out. Spotlight up in the rafters. Sting seems to be up there. Lights go out again. Come back on. He's on the entrance ramp. Not the ramp, but the tunnel that leads backstage, and dives off of it onto the Bullet Club, which was like, this dude is nearly 70 years old doing this shit. Like, Sting, slow down, please. We want to keep you for a little while. They get it into the ring. Pac bunch of super kick parties, including El Fantasmo, which was excellent. At one point, Sting's on a roll. Up comes Hikuleo, who's at ringside. He was meant to be in the match, but sadly, Hiromu Takahashi got sick, and so it was made into a 6-man, like I said. Darby Allin and Takagi with dueling dives. They then get back into the ring, hit pretty much all their finishers on Phantasmo for the win. I am very surprised they gave the win not to Bullet Club here, which going to be interesting to see what happens with that down the line. So I'm going to give this match a thumbs up. It was a lot of fun. A bit fast-paced, but I feel like that's fine. And, yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. Next up, this one was kind of a downer, not just because, it's the women, but it didn't feel like it fit. Something was missing here, as it was Thunder Rosa defending her AEW Women's title against Toni Storm. And boy, oh boy, did these two give each other a good pounding. Not to be sexual. Don't worry. It did look like at one point Toni Storm actually kicked out of a Thunderfire driver, which was absolutely insane. Got a big pop from the crowd. Got a pretty good reaction from me too, actually. Then kind of a crossroads-ish type move for the win. 1, 2, 3. Winner, still AEW Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa. I'm going to give this kind of a thumbs right here. Match was fine, but overall, it's not. It felt like it didn't really belong on this show, I did hear that Tony Khan wanted to get someone from Stardom, who is New Japan's sister promotion, that is an all-women's promotion, considering New Japan doesn't really have a women's division. But there were issues, so that couldn't happen. So this match took place, which overall I still had a lot of fun with. It was a really good match. But I think it's going to be the least remembered match on this card. I'm sorry to say this, ladies. Now, next up. Oh boy, I think this is the match of the night. At least for me. As you have the IWGP United States title on the line. As Will Ospreay defends against the returning Orange Cassidy. That's right, freshly squeezed. Back on the scene, ready to rock and roll, doing his shtick. Like, at one point, we see Ospreay doing some savant kicks, which are, like, these weird kicks to the head that I do not like. Then eventually that turns into Cassidy doing slow kicks to the head, like, oh, like he does. That pisses off Ospreay, and then he does some really quick ones, which was crazy to see. A lot of flying. Orange Cassidy kicked out on an Oscutter at one point, which was... didn't see that coming. Ospreay counters an Orange Punch into another Oscutter, and then Hidden Blade, which is a big old elbow smash to the back of the head. Like, Jesus. But that didn't end the match. And then he had like I don't even know what to call it. I forget what they call it. It was some kind of overhead crossroads type of thing. For the 1, 2, 3. Winner, technically still IWGP US Champion, Will Ospreay. Although Juice Robinson still holds it. So, we'll see what happens there. Next match, we have the Zack Sabre Jr., what was supposed to be a Bryan Danielson match, turns into a mystery opponent. So, Zack Sabre Jr. comes out, waiting. Claudio Castagnoli comes out. If you don't know him, that's the former Cesaro, the Swiss Superman. And he got a great reaction from, I assume, everybody. Well, besides the, another ex-WWE guy. Man, shut your mouth. And I tell you that at first, Claudio hits Zack Sabre Jr. with the neutralizer, like right off the bat. 1, 2, kick out. Like, everyone thought he was going to pin him right there, which would have been actually kind of nuts. And they had a really good technical bout. These two had great chemistry together. And we did see a swing attempt by Claudio, but Zack Sabre Jr. gets out of it, which was mightily impressive. Zack Sabre trying to go for many submission, and Claudio either gets the ropes or just powers out of it. Plenty of European uppercuts, which sound hard as heck coming from Claudio. Which, man, I've missed seeing him wrestle. He is such a good wrestler. Claudio then hits, it wasn't a neutralizer. What the heck did he hit? I mean, his finisher, 1, 2, 3. Winner, Claudio Castagnoli, your newest member of the Blackpool Combat Club. That's awesome. And which also means he's going to be in Blood and Guts this Wednesday. That should be fun. I can't wait. Especially considering his history with Eddie Kingston. Not going to go into that. Look that up. That is interesting. Next up, your semi-main event of the evening. As we have Jay White defending his IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against not 1, not 2, but 3 men. We got former AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page. We got former IWGP Champion Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker himself, who got a massive reaction from the crowd. And current Owen Hart Men's Trophy winner, Adam Cole, baby. These 4 went after it. At first, we had the team of Jay White and Cole taking on Page and Okada. At multiple points, you see Cole or throwing out Page, or White throwing out Okada. 2 versus 1 beatdowns. And then just Adam Cole throwing super kicks everywhere. Okada with a nice looking drop kick. Like, if you've never seen an Okada drop kick, go watch. He's got a beautiful drop kick. They all start brawling with one another, in which that's what I love about AEW 4-Weight. It's not like 2-person waiting out on the outside, 2 in. There's action all the time. At one point, it does look like Adam Cole gets knocked a little bit silly. Jay White hits the Blade Runner on Page, but then goes to the corner and pins Cole for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner, still IWGP World Champion, Jay White. Now, it does look like Cole suffered from a concussion. I hope he gets better soon, along with everyone else that got hurt in this show. Like, jeez. I'm gonna say that the match itself was fun. The finish was a little weird, but I think that's because it was called on the fly. Gonna give this match a big thumbs up. And now, our main event of the evening. We have, for the interim AEW World Championship. Now, this match was meant to be CM Punk versus Tanahashi, but Punk hurt his foot on, I want to say it was Double or Nothing. He first hurt his foot when he was attempting the buckshot lariat, and then he re-hurt it on the Dynamite after while teaming with FTR, which, get better soon. So this then turned into a few number one contender scenarios. Now Moxley and Tanahashi meet. This was everything I thought it would be. I don't really know how to put it into words. There was plenty of high fly flows from Tanahashi, in which Moxley kicked out. Tanahashi not only blocked a couple of paradigm shifts, but even kicked out of one, which that surprised me. Then we had the avalanche paradigm shift. 1, 2, kick out, big old reaction. And then we had the elevated paradigm shift, which I don't know if there's a special name for that. And that put him away. 1, 2, 3. So your winner, new interim AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley. Which, technically, that kind of makes Moxley a 2-time AEW World Champion. No? Anyway, gonna give this match a big old thumbs up. I'm gonna say, if you like just pure wrestling, this is the match for you. Alright, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Next show I'm gonna be predicting is for this Friday, I believe, July 1st? Yeah, Friday, Against All Odds for Impact Wrestling. I'm probably going to do that on Friday during the day, because I'm going to be thinking that Thursday we're going to be seeing a couple matches added. Then after that, we got a whole lot more wrestling coming. So, I hope you sit tight. Please like the video, share the video around, subscribe if you haven't, and I shall see you next time. Peace.